Welcome back. All right, I did it. I did it. I watched Three from Hell. I'm going to say this. Three from Hell might actually be my favorite of the three movies, and I say favorite like that because it's a high body count. But I don't know. It was an odd movie. There's some serious tonal shifts in the movie. They definitely it felt like Rob Zombie was trying to give more depth to the characters, keeping in mind, of course, that Sid Haig was in failing health when they started shooting. That's why Sid Haig just has one scene in the movie, and then Captain Spaulding, they say, was killed with lethal injection. Sid Haig passed away shortly after the filming began, and if you have seen this, you can tell he looks pretty gaunt. He was pretty sick at the time that he was being filmed for this movie. So he did that scene. Good on him. Sid Haig, well known, of course, in the horror community. I think underappreciated in general. I think he can play kind of a scary character, but he has a way of being relatable. So I'm going to agree with people that say that it was missing Sid Haig's influence in this movie, and that the new guy who comes in doesn't really add a whole lot. I mean, he's you already have Otis, who's like the murdering guy, and so to bring in another one, it just felt like it was two of basically the same character, almost the exact same character. And then, of course, they spend all the time in the movie trying to get Baby out, and then once they get her out, they go down to Mexico. Now, and of course, spoilers, but anybody watching this likely has already watched it, and if you haven't, you may not be of the mind to it. Now, again, if you're not a big fan of the over the top violence, I will say this: it didn't feel like it was as bad in this one as Devil's Rejects or House of a Thousand Corpses. There's still some stuff in this that's pretty graphic, but in terms of the just the overall feel of the movie, it's quite different. There is a scene early on where they've basically imprisoned everybody in this one house, which feels like a throwback to Devil's Rejects. But they move on from that relatively quickly. I I do. The one issue I have with the movie is, again, nobody in the movie seems to be smart. There's nobody who makes a smart move. Like, so you've got this Danny Trejo gets murdered, so the character that's supposed to be his kid has got this like army of guys with guns. They all wear white suits, so you know what's going to happen with those. But I'm like, oh, good, that'll make all the blood show up. That's great for the blood packs while they're filming. So to me, it was good in parts, and again, it might have been my favorite because it kind of shows more of the interpersonal relationships. They didn't really get into the fact either that Otis says something's different with Baby, that she's not the same, and I thought, okay, maybe there could be some kind of a conflict in here. There isn't. It's immediately done away with. It's supposed to be 10 years different. It looks like it's a lot more than that, but it is interesting. It has its moments, but again, the only characters who seem to have a brain that functions are Otis and Baby. Like, nobody else has a plan. When there's a part early on where, I mean, the warden knows what's going on, and I thought, okay, he knows that he can't trust these people. He knows they're just going to murder everybody. So once he gets out of the house, what's he going to do? Is he going to phone the police? No. Is he going to do something? Is he going to get a gun and come back and try to? No. No, he just does what he's told and then gets shot in the head. Oh, that was the one part where I was like, seriously, that's dumb. That's I don't agree with that. I don't like that. That doesn't work. And then at the end too, they have the three caskets and you have the whole thing in Mexico. And I thought, if their last stand was in Mexico, if they got shot and they go down there, that would be a suitable ending, I thought, for the movie. So I did actually have the thought of, well, maybe this is going to be their last stand. But as soon as the first guy wearing the luchador mask gets shot, I was like, oh, yeah, never mind. And he gets hit with an arrow through the neck, and I was like, yeah, no, no, never mind. No, they're all going to die because they're stupid. You don't. The thing that drives me nuts in these movies is that you know that you're hunting these people who are hunters who have been creating carnage everywhere they go for decades, and there is an untold number of bodies in their wake. It's hundreds. So make them come out. Don't go charging in. Don't go charging in. And if you do, you got to overwhelm them with numbers because we've seen what they can do. But no, it's one or two at a time, and they just sort of tiptoe up. And then as soon as they're shot, they forget how to use their gun. The gun drops down at their side, and they just fall over and they're dead. And I'm like, all right, well, all right, cool. So it ended up being kind of anticlimactic, and I it's interesting too because there's a part in the movie where they reach this spot in Mexico, and the other dude asks Otis, the other Otis asks Otis, so what do we do now? And Otis said, I don't know. And you know, it's funny because watching that, I thought, is that Rob Zombie's way of saying, okay, I got them all out of prison. Now they're down in Mexico. Now what? And so he's like, a bunch of guys in lucha masks. Sure, that works. A bunch of guys in lucha masks. And that way we can use the same extras over and over again because it doesn't matter. Yeah, that'll work. It. I thought it was an honest moment of, I don't know, maybe he didn't expect to get the movie made. Again, I think I enjoyed this one the best out of the three. And it's interesting because the actual critical reviews aren't bad for Three from Hell. It is the viewers that aren't happy with Three from Hell and that feel like it's lost something. There was too much time after the Devil's Rejects, definitely, before this movie came out. But yeah, I didn't think it was awful. I kind of felt like they made them at least look like they don't just murder everybody they meet, because in the first two movies, it certainly looked like everybody they meet, they murder, which is not a good way to go through life, because eventually, you're going to be like, I want to go to 7-Eleven. Oh, yeah, I murdered everybody there. Can I go to McD's? Oh, right. I shot up that place last week. Eventually, you're going to run out of people. Eventually, everybody's going to know who you were. And I thought there was one missed opportunity here when the three of them are walking through this Day of the Dead celebration, and everybody's looking at them. And I said out loud to myself, it would be great if all of them recognized who they are. It would be great if everybody in the room knew who these three are. And I thought, wouldn't it be awesome too if you had everybody who had a score to settle with the Firefly family show up? So rather than just the one guy, have everybody who's got a score to settle with them show up and not be stupid. It's a choice, right? I mean, everybody in the movie is stupid, and it happens again, and it's happened in all three movies where everybody's dumb. And I guess this is likely the last of the movies involving these characters. I don't think Rob Zombie will go back to them again, because it kind of felt like this movie was an add-on. And the way they did the closing credits, where you see them out driving on the streets, driving the highway in Mexico. And I thought, okay, so this movie is designed to get them out of prison and have them ride off into the sunset, and we have no idea where they go or what happens from there. So on that level, I guess. But again, I don't find myself rooting for these homicidal maniacs. That's not where I am. And I was kind of hoping for some sort of comeuppance. But it happens every time. Every movie, it's just they have a chance, and what do? They talk. Who does this? Who in the world does this? That they're like, all right, I've been hunting you for years. Now I've got you right in my sights, and I know you've murdered 200 people. So I'm going to talk to you first. I'm going to taunt you. I'm going to talk to you. Maybe I'll poke you in the forehead with my finger. Maybe I'll get a knife and give you a little poke in the arm. Really tick you off. And then I'm going to talk some more while you're breaking free, or whoever's going to show up and shoot me. But it's just I don't understand that. I'm not understanding that at all. The idea that these people talk the whole time. It reminds me of James Bond villains, where they talk when they should be actually not talking, and they should be solving the situation. So that's where I'm at with it. But and to be honest, that's when I just fast forward by 2 minutes. I just go, and 2 minutes, like, yep, Yep. He's dead. All right, cool. All right, good. All right, yep. Kept talking. Couldn't stop talking. Cool, great. Glad he kept talking there, because be a shame if he actually used his brain. But nope. Now his brain's all over the wall. That's what happens, or it's burnt. So there's that. But again, I think that if you've been holding off on watching this movie because of bad reviews, I would say give it a watch. Again, I don't know how much it adds to the lore. It does miss Captain Spaulding, but I thought it was serviceable. Again, in that universe, for what it is, I thought it was a serviceable movie. I think I've enjoyed parts of it more than I enjoyed Devil's Rejects. It was different. I thought it was different, and I thought it had a little bit of a different feel to it than the first two, and it kind of combined some of the video game feel of the first, came into parts of the third one here as well. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. I won't be watching another Rob Zombie movie anytime soon, is my guess. But I mean, Monsters is going to come out, and I watched Monsters, so I'll watch the movie. I will do my best to get through as much as I can. Fingers crossed. Let me know your thoughts, though. If you saw this movie, what did you think of it? And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.